Got a question here asked on lockergnome.net by Phidias Bob, and he's wondering if there are things you should not do with a laptop that is normally okay to do with a desktop. I think it's a fair question to ask. I think the only thing that I wouldn't do with a notebook computer or a laptop, some type of portable system, things that I wouldn't do on this type of computer versus a desktop computer, if I really needed to do anything that was memory intensive or processor intensive, I likely would not use a notebook computer because they tend to be underpowered. That's just the way they are. I mean, they can be powerful. Yes, that's what they're designed to do in some cases, being desktop replacements. Still, you usually can get much more oomph out of your system if it's a desktop computer. Not always the case, just generally speaking. This here is a very powerful notebook. And yes, if you hadn't already realized, or if you didn't know, I'm not at home right now. I'm traveling, having some fun on a vacation that I forced myself to take. So I need to use this, right? And I will use it when I have to do something that is normally something that I would do on my desktop, which tends to respond a little faster because I'm able to get a lot more out of that desktop. I have more RAM on the desktop. I have a bigger, faster CPU, at least in terms of how well it runs. Everything else is pretty much the same. I mean, I'm able to move around with a notebook computer or a laptop. That's its benefit. And the big drawback of a desktop is that you really don't want to lug it around. But really, things you should not do with a laptop, normally okay to do with a desktop. I can't think of anything else, quite honestly. I mean, desktop replacements are out there. I would consider this particular notebook computer, sponsored by PC Pit Stop, a full desktop replacement, or at least desktop replacement enough. I could get the same kind of hardware for it. I could plug in the same kind of hardware, USB ports aplenty. It's powerful to do the things that, or I should say powerful enough to do the things that I want to do. But if given the choice, if portability isn't a question, I'd go with the desktop because you can get more power, more bang for your buck, so to speak. Things you should not do with a laptop. Boy, that's a really good question. That's the only answer I can think of. Maybe you have a different answer. My email address, chris@perillo.com, or you could leave a video response to this video. You could even follow up on the thread on lockergnome.net if you can find it there, because we get a lot of questions being asked on the website. Even though it's only a couple months old, I'm happy to see that the community has embraced it. We've got a greater part of the community, geeks.perillo.com, coupons.lockergnome.com. We also have my blog. If you Google the word Chris, you'll find it. It's chris.perillo.com. And then as a part of that, we also have a live video feed. I post my tweets through it. I've got the Facebook feed going there, at Chris Perillo, or facebook.com/Chris Perillo. It's impossible to avoid Chris Perillo on the internet. I'm sorry. But if you care to join us in the chat room, we are typically talking tech 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even if I'm not there, the video feed is always on at live.perillo.com. We'll see you later.